Hello everyone, I am Chandrashekar LSP. I am an evangelist at Zoho, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Zoho BI platform. The coverage will be extensive given that we have been in the market for over a decade. A comprehensive coverage, in my view, can also foster more lively discussions on Zoho Day. A quick call out on the agenda. We're going to talk about the Zoho BI vision and history. We'll look at the go-to-market strategy and adoption, the key focus areas for the product, an early preview of 5.0, and then there's a section on customer testimonial. Let's start with the Zoho BI vision and history. Our vision for BI is analytics for all. By that, we mean a self-service BI platform that will enable technical and non-technical users to discover insights for better decision making. The vision predicates itself upon three critical stages of BI. The first one is data management. We all know it is the foundation for a good BI practice. Data integration, data preparation, data modeling, and data cataloging are fundamental for all good BI projects. Once we get past that stage, once data has been prepared and cataloged, the next step is to visualize and analyze the data. And here the focus is on creating metrics to track, creating the reports and dashboards for visual analysis. Once those reports and dashboards are created, the next step is to put it in the hands of consumers who can visually explore the data and get insights. The insights can be historical, predictive, or prescriptive. But overall, the insights can help them to get to action. Application of AI to BI techniques has strengthened our conviction and drives the analytics for all vision. We started executing on this vision over a decade ago. We launched the first cloud-enabled BI service in 2009, went on to add an on-prem edition of the software in 2018. Cut to chase, we have over 13,000 customers spread in over 150 countries. We have a three-pronged strategy as far as the go-to-market strategy goes. We offer the service on Zoho's cloud infrastructure, and we serve over 12,000 businesses. The on-prem edition of the software launched in 2018, we serve over 600 customers. The second play that we have is the embedded BI play. There is a demand to deliver insights contextually in business applications rather than users jumping between tabs and gleaning for insights to act on. Large enterprises and ISVs rely on our platform to deliver BI capabilities to their customers. Our platform allows the ISVs to focus on their domain and have Zoho Analytics do the BI heavy lifting for them. In terms of the adoption, we have over 350 embedded customers. We also call them white label customers, and they in turn serve over 7,000 organizations globally. The third play we have is the marketplace. We offer our analytics apps on third-party marketplaces. For example, we offer the ServiceNow Analytics app in the ServiceNow marketplace. We're also working with the likes of Shopify and WooCommerce to make the e-commerce analytics app available on their marketplaces as well. Now, this is actually a two-way street as well. We also invite other ISVs to create analytics apps on our platform and offer it in the Zoho marketplace as well. A quick word on the revenue growth. 2019 and 2020, we saw an overall revenue growth of 30%. A quick word on the global adoption of the platform and the verticals where we see good traction. The diversity in the pie has been quite encouraging as adoption grows globally. The verticals that you see here between IT services, professional services, manufacturing and banking and financial services, these are the top four verticals. They tend to shift positions every year or so, but then these four tend to be or make this list every year. Given the breadth of Zoho service offerings, the general belief is that Zoho Analytics is a BI platform made by Zoho for Zoho, but nothing can be further from the truth. We are a pure play BI vendor. The visual here bears testimony to that. Be it the adoption, where you see that 60% of the platform users use it in conjunction with a non-Zoho application. Only 40% use it in conjunction with a Zoho application. Looking at it from a revenue standpoint, 75% of the revenue comes from those users who do not use it with any other Zoho application. So all in all, Zoho Analytics has a strong standalone BI play. I want to draw your attention to the performance and scalability numbers of the platform. Our largest SaaS customer in the supply chain domain has over 2 billion rows of data that they process in real time and have over 2,000 users accessing the system. The largest on-prem customer, a tier 1 telco provider in North America, has over 150 million rows of data and over 300 concurrent users accessing the system. A quick peek at our marquee customer list. I want to draw your attention to the diversity of the industries and the geographies on this slide. Now, having gone through the vision, history, and go-to-market, I want to switch gears to cover the product capabilities. And in doing so, I'll cover the key focus areas that align with our Analytics for All vision. The first key focus area is Unified Business Analytics. We connect to over 250 data sources and harvest data for analysis. Our data integration goes past just harvesting. We create analytical models and develop reports and dashboards to jumpstart BI initiatives. The analytical models can be departmental and cross-departmental. For example, if we bring in, let's say, data from a Zoho CRM and a marketing app like Google Ads, we can automatically blend data and create cross-domain models for analysis. And we also do that and create the reports and dashboards that go along with it. And we don't just stop at that. We go further. We also train Ask Zia, which is our natural language querying engine to respond to user queries. The second key focus area is augmented analytics. Like I said earlier, adopting ML and AI in the context of analytics is crucial for data democratization, apart from some advanced analytical capabilities. We continue to develop and deliver features to locksteps with the demands of the embedded BI market as well, which, as stated earlier, is a critical part of our go-to-market strategy. I now want to go over to Zoho Analytics and showcase the capabilities around these three key focus areas. And to kind of set the right context here and to look at it in the context of a business, I want to talk about FindPick, which is an e-commerce store. And we'll look at how they can use Zoho Analytics to deliver insights to a line of business user who wants to keep a tab on the customer experience. FindPick uses marketing applications, sales applications, and customer support application. So for marketing, they use Sales IQ, which is a visitor tracking and engagement software made available by Zoho. The sales team uses Salesforce for CRM, and their customer support team uses Zendesk as their help desk and ticketing system. Let's get a feel for the experience that a business user at FindPick is going to have in their BI initiative. So this is the home screen for Zoho Analytics. As you can see, there are quite a few BI projects that I've already started, and projects are organized into what we call workspaces. And before I get into the specific features around analysis and NLQ, I want to talk about the first part of any BI project, which is to bring in data. I want to show you the simplicity that we bring into this whole process. Clicking on Import Data button, it shows the list of applications and data sources from where you want to bring in the data. I'm going to select one of them here. I'm going to say I want to bring in the data from, let's say, Zoho CRM. I want to show you the simplicity here and draw your attention to how we give a wizard-based approach where a business user doesn't have to think too hard. They look at the information that we are bringing in from Zoho CRM. In this case, it gives the business user the ability to select the information that they want to analyze. For example, there may be certain CRM modules that FindPick may not have implemented, so I don't have to choose those modules. And it also gives the user the ability to schedule the sync. And in doing so, you're making sure that the data is updated and the analysis is happening on the most recent set of data. Clicking on Create here is going to create a workspace by the name Zoho CRM Analytics. But that's not the goal here. Just wanted to show you the simplicity or the ease of bringing in data for analysis. In the case of FindPick, we have to bring in data from Salesforce, Zendesk, and Sales IQ. In the interest of time, I have already done that. I have a workspace. And I want to start off with the analysis part. So out here, I'm doing a departmental analytics. I'm looking at the sales number, and it's telling me what's happening across the business in the month of February. In terms of sales, the number of deals closed. There's also an indication whether the numbers have gone up or gone down in comparison to the previous month. There is a nice looking sales trend here. There's a geo map that is showing me the sales by region. Now, these are just not static maps. I can interact with them. For example, in the state of Washington, I want to understand more and drill down and look at the lead source that is generating this revenue for me. What are the lead sources overall? So in doing so, it tells me between advertisement and cold calls, which is the lead source, or which is that channel that's generating the most revenue for me. Now, even within these reports and charts, I can change the visualization. Let's say I want to see this as a horizontal bar chart. I can go and change that. It gives me a lot of flexibility, and then a user can interact with the data the way they want. So we've seen how we brought in data from Salesforce, and we have done some analysis on that. Now, my goal is to understand the data across the board. I want to get a 360-degree view of what's happening in my business. So I want to look at the customer experience dashboard. Out here, I'm bringing in data from Zendesk. You see some of those CX satisfaction rate, the average NPS. These are specifically numbers or data points that you bring in from a help desk and ticketing system, which is by itself, it's interesting. However, what's even more interesting is when I can connect something that's happening in my sales based on what's happening in my support. So a report that's interesting for me in this dashboard is the cart completion rate versus the first response time. So as you can see, the cart completion rate has a direct connection to the average response. More the average response time, fewer the cart completion rates are. So this is the kind of unified data analysis that I'm interested in. This is what Zoho does. Now, how do we do it? So I said we do unified business analytics. The way we do it is when we bring in the data, we automatically create the data model for analysis. So I want to draw your attention to the model diagram here. So when we bring in the data, we already have connected the tables to do the analysis. So let's look at the Salesforce table here. You're looking at this leads table. So the leads table here is connected to the visitor table in Sales IQ. It's also connected to the users table in Zendesk. So you're seeing how the marketing application is connected to the sales application, support application is connected to the sales application. So this model creation is what drives this whole unified business analytics business for us. So we spend a lot of time. Like I said, this is done automatically by the system, and this is a critical focus area for us. So we've seen bringing in data, we've seen departmental analytics, we've seen cross-departmental analytics, some reports and charts and dashboard that the system has created out of the box. But let's say I want to interact with the system. I want to create new reports and charts. What are the ways I can do that? So that's where we bring in the Ask Zia capability, which is a natural language querying unit. This is a search interface based on which a user can interact with the data. For example, if I want to see the sales by location, I can just come in here and type the query. And based on the fact that I'm querying an entity that has a lat-long data type, it's automatically presenting the information in the form of a chart. Now, this is interesting, but I want to get to the next level. And I'm going to say, show me the sales by location by the agent. Now you will see automatically the best representation for this query comes out again, and it shows me the list of agents and their contribution in each of these regions. Now, while we have this NLQ capability, we also have the standard drag and drop interface. For example, I just want to show you that capability out here, where if I want to show this information only for all the deals in my CRM that have been created in the last 3 months, I can just do that. Just wanted to kind of quickly show you the drag and drop capability per se. So we've gone from importing data, departmental analytics, cross-departmental analytics, the ease of creating reports and charts, and making it available. The next step is to making it available to the consumer. For example, I have this nice looking executive dashboard, and I want to share this with my executive team. I want to share this with the VP of sales perhaps. So to share this report, and in this case the dashboard, I have the share option, and I can choose and create list of groups and users within the analytics platform and make it available to the users and groups for consumption. But I've already done that, so I'm going to look at the existing shared details. And what happens is it's going to bring up the screen. It tells me the list of people I have shared this particular dashboard with. I'm interested in what Frank's rights are in terms of accessing this dashboard. So I'm going to look at the permissions that we have set up for Frank. As you can see, there's a fine-grained access control mechanism. You can give the user the ability to read the data. You can suppress the export option or the option to view the underlying data, and you can even restrict drilling down and so on. While this is one aspect of controlling what a user can do from an operation perspective on the reports and dashboard, you can actually go further, where you can set up row-level segmentation or row-level security, where I can set it up in such a way that when Frank tries to access this dashboard, as long as the region is Canada, only those data points are going to be shown up. Otherwise, it's just going to be a blank dashboard. So you can really go deep in terms of setting up access control in the system. So, and over and above that, you have standard capabilities like sharing this information, sharing the dashboard over an email, as a PDF, and so on. But another interesting aspect of the platform is collaboration capability. For example, embedded within the product is a collaboration layer where users can interact about what's happening within the dashboard. For example, Frank and Zilker have been having some conversation because Zilker wants to bring in within the seasonality trend the information from weather.com. So Frank says, yeah, we can do it. So here the idea is, in the context of the data, you're having a conversation, which is critical. Typically what would happen is you'll look at a dashboard and then you'll probably send out an email or probably go to a collaboration or a chat tool and then interact with the other users or other stakeholders. In this case, you can do it in context. So the next time Frank logs in, he's going to see any comment that's been addressed to him and respond to those. So clearly the whole idea is keep everything in context and give them the ability to interact and collaborate within the platform. So we went from, again, I want to kind of cover the arc that we touched upon. We talked about integration of data, departmental analytics, unified analytics, creating reports and charts, and making it available to the consumers. While this is interesting, the fact that you can share reports and you can have users, you can invite users to come and access the reports and dashboards, what's even more interesting is, what if I can put it out in an application that they live? For example, as a sales agent, I am going to be in my CRM. What if I can embed this dashboard in my CRM? So in the case of FinePick, they have their own application. So what I'm going to demonstrate here is the ability to embed the sales dashboard in a third-party application. In this case, it's FinePick's own application. And as you can see, it comes up with its own theme in this case, instead of it just being the same theme that you see in Zoho Analytics. When you embed this, you can put a context, you can put your own branding and make it available. And as a part of embedding, while I'm embedding a dashboard, I can embed the entire Analytics Studio or Workbench for users to interact with, based on permissions. If this user is an admin user, they don't even have to go to Zoho Analytics to create new reports and charts and stuff like that. They can do it within their own application. We just give that kind of flexibility where we bring the entire design studio in here and the experience is immersive. So with that, I talked about the key focus areas. I'm going to go back to the slide and talk about the adoption of these features and what drives us to invest in these kind of capabilities in the product. Let's look at the adoption for something like unified business analytics. 35% of the workspaces are connected to more than 3 data sources. As far as the augmented analytics adoption goes, 20% of the users are using Ask Zia to interact with the data. And from an embedded BI standpoint, 25% of the revenues are generated by this play. Moving on, I now want to give you all an exclusive preview of Zoho Analytics 5.0. It is in private beta now and will see an early Q2 launch. This is a major update that is coming out after 2 years of extensive R&D. It is packed with many updates. However, to keep things tight, I will focus on 3 areas again. The first one is around augmented data prep. The second one will be on the updates to the augmented analytics capabilities. And the third one is around data stories. Again, these 3 points or these 3 features I want to highlight only because it kind of adds to our analytics for all vision. It is common knowledge, like 70 to 80% of time spent in any BI project is to prepare the data for analysis. While the data prep capabilities have been a part of our BI stack, we have given it a significant upgrade, augmenting it with AI and ML capabilities. Apart from being tightly integrated with Zoho Analytics platform, the upgrade is so substantial that we have also decided to launch it as a standalone data prep service. To walk you through the updates and show the 5.0 features, I want to go back to the FindPick scenario. I want to bring in yet another data source, a homegrown ERP solution built by FindPick and hosted on Amazon. The ERP has information pertaining to inventory, shipping, and billing. So let us explore how Zoho Analytics 5.0 features can help FindPick get customer experience insights. So now that we have the ERP data for analysis, I want to first prepare the data. And to do that, I have to integrate the data and do any transformations that I want and take it for analysis. And to do that, I come into Zoho Data Prep, and this is the Data Prep Studio UI. And the projects are organized into what we call workspaces, similar to Zoho Analytics. Click on Create Workspace, and just wanted to show you the data integration capabilities here. You can bring data from files, URLs, databases, cloud data sources, and whatnot. In the interest of time, once again, I have brought in the data from Amazon RDS. And you will observe that there are 2 tables that I've brought in for data preparation, the items and the item reviews. I know that these 2 tables require work, so that's the reason I bring it in here. I'll start off with the items table. The minute I get in, it gives me a lot of visual cues. First, it has automatically identified the data types of each of the column. Second, it's giving me the distribution of values in each of the columns. And should any column have any data quality issues, it is highlighting that because you can see the red line out here is indicating that there are issues. So obviously I need to fix it, but before that I also want to point your attention to the report here. It tells me or gives me the summary about the data quality. Overall, 98% I would say is good quality data. However, the price column requires work, so let's go and fix it. To do that, I select the columns that have the values that have issues, and I'm going to right click on it and select the replace operation, where I'm going to replace the USDD USD with the dollar notation. So I'm going to say apply the regex, and anywhere you see USDD or USD or US, replace it with the dollar sign. And you will observe, even as I'm doing it, you have a preview of what the operation will do to the data. I'm happy with that. I'm going to take it, I'm going to apply this and wait. So the operation has been done. The filter values have been fixed. So I'm going to remove the filter, and you will see the data quality now says it's at 100%. I'm happy with it. That said, I have few other enrichment or data enrichment operations that I want to do. For example, this table does not have the brand name. So while it does not have the brand name, it has the brand name embedded within the item name column. So I'm going to extract the brand names from within the square braces. To do that, I right click and select the extract operation. Say anything between the square braces, do not include the braces. Take it out, and just like that, I now have the brand values extracted from the item name. I'm going to rename this column and call it brand. Apply this rename transformation. I now want to draw your attention to this Q code. As you can observe, there are some duplicates, so I want to remove them. I select the column, apply the deduplicate transformation across all the rows in the data set. And I'm going to say remove the duplicates. So we've taken the data to multiple steps here. So we have removed the bad quality data, applied some transformations, and there's one more transformation that I want to apply. So on the brand itself, I want to ensure that the data is consistent in the sense that the brand names have not been spelled inconsistently. That's something that I'm picky about, so I want to take care of that. To do that, I select the column and apply the cluster and merge operation on the data set. So the system is giving me the suggestions. I may accept some, I may not accept some. So let's go through the suggestions here. So the RE270K, I'm not happy with the suggestion, but for Samsung, I want to take the suggestions. Same thing for SanDisk. I want to take the suggestion. I'll go through, and then as a user, I have the choice to pick and choose the suggestions that the system is giving me. I'm going to take this now. I'm going to apply. So one more step for data enrichment. I'm now a happy man. I want to go now to the item reviews table and see if there are any transformations or preparation steps that I want to do. Simple table, users who have given the reviews, the item ID with which the review is associated, and the review text. Useful, but for analysis, it'll be better if I can actually associate the sentiment with the reviews. So to do that, I right click on the text and do sentiment analysis, and it's going to generate a new column. I'm going to make this column, or call this column sentiment. At this point, the sentiment is being analyzed, and you will now have a new column called sentiment that's going to show you the values, if it's positive or negative. Good enough. Now I want to go to the next step of combining the data. So since item is the master table, I'll go in here and say apply a transform for me, which is to combine the items table with the item reviews table. Again, the reason I'm doing this is because this will lend itself for better analysis if I'm going to normalize and have everything in a single table. Even from a performance standpoint, it's going to be useful. I'm going to call this table item reviews. I'm going to map it on the item ID column between the two tables. And just like that, a new table is going to be created. So a new table has been created. It's giving me the preview of the table. I like it, but I want to go back to the items table and show some important feature that we have in the offering, which is all the transformation that a user applies on the data is stored, and it's templated, and it's organized into what we call a rule set. This rule set can be applied the next time we bring in data from the RDS system. So it helps in automation and setting up workflows for automation. Now let's go back to the ERP workspace. We now have three data tables. One is the items, the item reviews that we got from ERP. Then we created a new table, the item reviews GTG. So I'm going to catalog this and say this is ready for use. And I am going to export this to Zoho Analytics to start analyzing the data. And to do that, I have export now and schedule export. I want to go through the schedule export option. Create a new schedule, export it every day at 12 a.m. in the morning. And again, as to where I can export this, I have options. I can export it to Zoho Analytics, or I can take it to cloud databases or cloud storage if I want to. But again, I just wanted to show you the capability from an export standpoint. The data has already been exported into Zoho Analytics. So now I'm going to leave the Data Prep Studio, go into Zoho Analytics again, and look at the 5.0 feature functionalities. We have now integrated the ERP data with Zoho Analytics. To analyze the data, I have to create reports and charts. And to do that, I'm going to use Ask Zia. Because this is a conversational mode, I'm going to use voice to interact with the data to create those reports and charts. Show me sales by items. It shows me this graph. I want to show you or bring your attention to the fact that the data on the x-axis is from the ERP system. The data on the y-axis is from the Salesforce system. So the unified business analytics is at play behind the scene. Let's interact with Zia further. Get me the top 10. So what it does is it keeps the context of the previous question and responds incrementally as you interact with it. So this is the conversational capability that we're talking about. Let's interact a little bit more. I want to bring out some other augmented analytics capability that we have added specifically around forecasting. Show me orders by month. Forecast for the next 6 months. These are some of the additional augmented analytics capability that we have added, where we have capabilities around forecasting, trend line, and the ability for the users to change the algorithms associated for trend line and forecasts and whatnot. So this was around the NLQ capability, where we looked at Ask Zia search capability, Ask Zia conversational capability. So now let's look at the other big announcement of 5.0. So here you're looking at the marketing dashboard. Like any other dashboard, this is information from the Sales IQ, which is the marketing system that FindPick is using. And I want to look at this visit by location and source map. And here I have this option called Zia Insights. Now, Zia Insights is NLG capability that we have added in 5.0. Now, all things NLQ and NLG are homegrown, and it's an internal R&D initiative at Zoho. So what does this capability give? What does NLG capability give to Zoho Analytics? It explains what's happening in a graph. Now, while it's not about stating the obvious, there are some interesting insights in this particular graph. For example, looking at this graph, there is no way for me to understand which is the biggest source of traffic in my website. So here it tells me the direct source is the biggest contributor. This insight here can help me to take an action on how much I want to spend on network ads. And it also tells me the top 3 states contribute to over a quarter of all the traffic. So what do I need to do to create reach in the other states in the country? So these are some of the insights that can help me. While it won't bubble up automatically, the NLG capability can draw the attention and bring this to the notice of the user. Otherwise, I'll have to take a paper and pen, jot things down and figure out what's going on. So this is a capability. This is, again, pushing the boundaries so that we can drive adoption and make people more data driven. Again, associating, I have to kind of talk about analytics for all vision, and I'm connecting it there with that. So this is the capability as far as augmented analytics are concerned. So Ask Zia conversation, NLG capability with Zia Insights. We have augmented data preparation capability that we have added. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was around data stories. While we now have the ability to share the reports and dashboards by creating users or inviting users to the platform to access them, and we also have the ability to embed them into third-party applications. From a data stories perspective, what we have done in 5.0 is we have integrated Zoho Show, the presentation software, as a part of the BI platform. And we have also integrated the website builder, Zoho Sites, into the platform. This, we believe, will push the boundaries of consumption because by and large, most of these reports and dashboards are either embedded into presentations or made available on applications, third-party applications or intranet sites and whatnot. But to make it easier, we thought these two products or the integration of these two capabilities inside the platform will benefit our customers. So what does it look like? So this is the marketing team meeting 2020 performance review presentation that was created in Zoho Show. And what I've done as a part of this presentation, while I have a narration going on and the bullet points that I want to highlight, on the right-hand side, I have a chart that is embedded. And this chart, interestingly enough, is dynamic, meaning this is interactive. You can interact in live mode when you're presenting this particular slide. You can drill down and look at the leads that are generating the revenue in the month of September 2020. So it gives you that ability, the edge to interact with data and make conversations more interesting when you're meeting your team and whatnot. So this is the regional traffic insights. We saw this map earlier, this chart earlier. When you embed these charts, we also embed the ZIA Insights capability. So over and above the narration that the user wants to put out there, you can also get the insights directly from Zoho Analytics. And we also will have the ability to embed the conversational interface into a presentation so people can interact with the data in live mode as they are in a meeting and whatnot. So again, pushing the boundaries of adoption so that people can use data and take decisions based on data. So this is one aspect of data stories. We talked about Zoho Show. The other aspect is Zoho Sites, where we will help our customers to organize the reports and dashboards in a nice looking website and make it available like what you see here. So here I have all the dashboards organized into different pages. I have the executive dashboard on the home page. I have the CX overview dashboard. So clearly the idea is make it easy for the end user to consume the data and not have to deal with the friction of users not wanting to learn platforms and signing into multiple applications to get to insights. So with this, we come to the end of the 5.0 early preview. We'll go back to the slides and discuss a few other points. For the benefit of those who are curious about the architecture, I want to call it out. The BI platform sits on top of Zoho's cloud and security infrastructure. We have the data integration layer that can bring in data for analysis from business applications and data warehouses and so on. Once the data is integrated, it is stored in the platform's purpose-built data warehouse. Data management and data discovery functions can happen over the stored data. Once the data has been prepared and modeled, the next step is visualization and analysis. And the visualization and analysis are shared with the consumers over a secure collaboration layer that's typically consumed on different forms, such as mobile app, it's embedded in third-party applications or consumed in messaging channels. And another thing that I want to draw your attention to is the API layer, where we have exposed all the layers and allow or invite ISVs to come and build analytical applications and make it available to their customers, hosted on our marketplace, and so on. With that, I will hand over the proceedings to our customer. I'm going to introduce Claudio Cabeza, who is the director of Premo Group, and he will talk to us about how Zoho Analytics is helping his organization get a 360-degree view of their business.
My name is Claudio Cañete. I am the business development director for the whole company. Premo is a company that design and manufacture innovative magnetics. We are a company producing passive components for the electronic assemblies, mostly in automotive market. Okay, company-wise, we are around 1,400 employees worldwide, with a turnover of 50 million euro. And we have locations all around the world with 3 major plants in Vietnam, China, and Morocco. These are our major manufacturing locations where we produce the components. And then we have development locations in Spain, where is our headquarters, France, Korea, US, Germany, and of course, also the plants. My role in the company is being the business development director. So I am in charge of sales, marketing, development, and projects in all locations with all the customers that we engage worldwide. We were identifying clearly the necessity or the need of a tool that consolidate many different systems that we have in place in the company 2 or 3 years ago. Okay, we were already having SAP as the main ERP tool deployed in all locations. We also deployed Salesforce as our CRM for the sales team. We also had Zoho projects. Was our initial engagement with the Zoho company. We were early users in Zoho projects, and is our tool to handle all the project development in the different R&D locations worldwide. And also we had many different individual Excel complex tables handling different processes and different departments data in the company. And at that time, we didn't have a place beside these complex Excel sheets where we could consolidate data and generate reports that were able to answer a specific business question. This was the most important part, to answer a specific business questions, complex questions regarding operations, development, sales, marketing, by grouping data and consolidating data in one single tool. That was the reason to go to a business intelligence tool. We evaluated many different ones, and at the end of the day, we selected Zoho Analytics to solve this big problem in the company. Yes, we made a short evaluation of different tools and a deep evaluation of Zoho Analytics and Power BI from Microsoft. We are worldwide users of Office 365. Is our Office tool, our Office license. And Power BI was the option from Microsoft, and we evaluated it. The decision maker to go to Zoho Analytics in the early stages, when we didn't have still the system that we have today with Zoho Analytics, with everything integrated. At that time, we were just making a test, uploading some tables and synchronizing from Salesforce to check early reports. It was the easy way in Zoho Analytics to create a report by one single user, not by an expert user, the trigger to use this during the benchmarking. Okay, in Power BI, the creation of one report is really more complex, and the friction for the standard user with not familiar with any Power BI, any business intelligence tool, was much bigger than in Zoho Analytics. Zoho Analytics allows users with no knowledge of the business intelligence tool to create very easy reports with complex data in a pivot or in a graph, very easy and very fast, with a low friction in terms of learning the interface, the data model, the way how to put the fields that you want, how to put the filters, how to create the report. This was clearly the trigger to go to Zoho Analytics. Capability to blend data from different sources was the main trigger to move to Zoho Analytics. We are today getting data from different complex systems like our ERP, SAP, Salesforce, coming from our sales department, Zoho Projects, which is the tool we use for all development projects in the company with our customers, because we are a company developing custom electronic parts. So every part is a project with different tasks and data in Zoho Projects. and also individual sources like Excel tables and websites that we scrap these days automatically using the tool. Once we have this in the system, the second thing that trigger the usage of Zoho Analytics is the visualization and the deep analysis of this consolidated data. We can consolidate data from all these sources and make analysis, complex analysis over them very easily. Okay, for this we made a survey over the company users that engage with Zoho Analytics in a daily basis today. And we also can check the logs. This is another feature of Zoho Analytics where we can get these answers to this question, because everything is registered and recorded, and we can see what is the usage of the tool worldwide between our users. So clearly the features number one use today in the company are the pivot tables and the creation of custom reports, pivot or charts. Clearly these are the ones mostly used because every manager at any level is able to create a custom report for their department people, okay? The second feature mostly used is the lookups that automatically links different tables when we include new data sources to the data model. Also recently, since 1 year ago, we are heavily using custom queries. This is a feature really advanced in Zoho Analytics, but allow us to create new tables with combination of data more advanced than a single pivot table with lookups, okay? And we are using these queries a lot these days. Finally, all this is used to be consolidated in a complex dashboard, like for example the operational dashboard or like the sales dashboard that integrate many reports. And when the users access to these dashboards, all the interaction tools available in Zoho Analytics are included. We include all of them, okay? We create a generic operational dashboard, for example, that is useful for everyone in the company. And now we have, as we are a worldwide company, we have locations in Vietnam, location in Asia, in Europe, in different places with different customers, different products, and different situations. So these users are able to use these interactive tools, the filters, the drill down, the clicking on the charts and checking in the insights of one bar, for example, and customize the dashboard very easily to look exactly at what they are doing. Basically, they are doing advanced insight analytics by using this tool. And this is a super useful feature. We love this because allow us to consolidate everything in one single dashboard. And the communication between the users at 12,000 kilometers away is based on the same analysis. They are not using separate files with separate interpretation of the data. The data is common, and one user in Vietnam can filter to check the situation of the local plant in Vietnam, and one user in Morocco can do the same at the local level. In terms of SIA, the company users make questions to SIA from time to time. And the advantage of having the results in a real time and the automatically generated reports is really useful for these users, because allow them to check immediate results coming from analytics, custom-made reports that probably early users or users that are approaching the tool in the company with this complex data model that we have created behind, and this extensive dashboard created by humans, by managers in the company, can be sometimes like aggressive in terms of the amount of data shows and so on. And SIA makes them available very easily how Zoho Analytics can improve their communication and the reports they can make for the department they are handling much easier, okay? So we like this feature because of this, because it's It's a tool that reduces a lot the friction on learning Zoho Analytics in the early stages. A really new addition to Zoho Analytics, and for us, it's really, really powerful, and we will be using it more and more in the following days and weeks. I can explain you why. When I explain the integration with SAP, we have these automatic transactions that dump SAP data to a OneDrive folder. And before Zoho Analytics takes this data, we have custom-made PowerShell Microsoft scripts executed in this specific server that get this data and process it. Process it in the terms of changing columns, updating data types of different cells, adjusting the syntax, making blending of different values in the cells. This is done using a PowerShell script, okay? Because 2 years ago, we didn't have this data preparation tool. When we were having the early access of data preparation, our IT people that are in charge of this script immediately identified the possibility to remove them. And this is in fact what we are doing these days. We are checking to use data preparation instead of these scripts, mainly because of the maintenance tool. Today, we can say that the operation department can go to Zoho Analytics and check anything related to operations in the company. Deliveries, stock, planning, consignment situation in our customers, logistics, everything is available. Similar thing happens with our R&D department. We have all the projects and situations of the developments completely explained by pivot tables and graphs, custom graphs in the custom charts in the Zoho Analytics. We are also starting to put finance department and purchasing department also with custom reports, not fully covered yet, but it's on the way. And we can say that with this amount of reports today, we have, for example, reduced the amount of user license using SAP, our ERP. In the past, before Zoho Analytics, we were having many licenses only to logging in SAP for checking data. So these were users that were not interacting with data in terms of making updates or transaction in SAP to change the data. They were entering in SAP only to check the status of an order, to check if one material has enough stock to deliver it to one customer, these kind of operations. And today we can say we have reduced a lot this kind of users. We don't have these licenses anymore. We have saved this money because they are using Zoho Analytics for this activity. The sales team, for example, got a big advantage also because everything they do in Salesforce these days, where they make a lot of activity in terms of introducing opportunities, updating them, checking the status of one lead, converting a lead to a potential inquiry. All this is consolidated in numbers and in data in Zoho Analytics in custom reports. So they don't have to go one by one in Salesforce checking what is the situation. They can go to Zoho Analytics and they have automatically the list of inquiries, of customers, opportunities, the different situations of the opportunities in one single shot. Another super big advantage, this is the more recent activity that we have done in Zoho Analytics or system that we have implemented, is the automatic update of our backlog orders EDI system coming from our customers. This saves a lot of hours in our customer service people. Today, nearly 45 managers from different departments all around Premo Group in different locations, Vietnam, China, US, Korea, France, Germany, access to the Zoho Analytics, and they perform actions and decisions based on the data they check. The checking and the access is real time, so they don't have to wait for an Excel sheet anymore coming from by email or by OneDrive. They can go directly to the system and check, and they can take decisions. This has increased a lot the speed of decision making, and we calculate that we have saved more than 1,000 hours per year in this kind of activity, on checking reports, checking Excel sheets, and having to take a decision of importance. Okay, an important decision for the business now is much faster to take because of this. From the point of view of our sales department, as I explained it before, to check the complete situation of our customer, of one of our customers. For example, one sales manager in front of a potential visit or a potential business trip to this customer was willing to check what was the situation of the customer from a 360 degrees view. This means checking the situation of the projects, checking the situation of possible samples, orders, deliveries, mass production data, everything. To do this, before, the sales manager could spend one complete journey entering into the different systems, Salesforce, Zoho Projects, SAP, individual Excel sheets, to know the situation of the customer. Today, they can go to a link in Zoho Analytics to one report, a specific detailed dashboard, and they can check in one single shot the complete 360 degrees view of the customer without having to go to any other place. They can do this even in the mobile phone, which is something really, really powerful, because they can do this in mobility, not having to be in the office or at home. They can be traveling and checking this while they approach to the customer.
Thank you, Claudio, for the wonderful case study that you have shared with us. Moving back to the last slide of the session, from a summary and takeaway standpoint, I want to summarize and say it's been a decade-long journey in self-service BI. It's a critical product focus area for us. We have a very focused roadmap and we are executing on it. Now, one of the things that is interesting for us is unifying data management and analytical capabilities and offering a full-fledged BI platform. The biggest takeaway for 2021, the launch of Zoho Analytics 5.0 and the Zoho Data Prep service. With that, thank you very much. I look forward to talk to you all during the Zoho Day live panel. Thank you once again and have a great day.